All right, we're going to be going over the geometry semester exam review. We'll start with number 1, and we'll go as however many problems we can get under 15 minutes. So we have the triangles below are similar. So in order to find out what the value of x is, you want to start with one side. So this side we're going to start with AB, and the corresponding side on the other triangle is x. And we know that because they're between, this is one arc, this is one arc, this is two arcs, and this is two arcs. That's how you can find the corresponding side. We're going to write that one down, 10 over x. Then we look at another side. We have 6, and the corresponding side is 12. So we're going to put 6 over 12. Once we have it in a proportion, we can cross multiply and divide to find our value of x. So we're going to do 6 times x is 6x equals, and then 10 times 12, which is 120. Then the final step is to solve for x, which in this case we just divide by 6 and we get x is equal to 20. So for number 1, we've got 20. For the next one, again, we have two similar triangles, DEF and ABC. So it wants us to find the scale factor. Because ABC is written first, and it's telling us that it's similar to triangle DEF, the sides for my ABC are going to be my numerator. So we look for one side. I'm going to look at 12. And then 12 is represented by AB. So if AB, the corresponding side over here is DE. And DE has a length of 6. And all you have to do here is divide. 12 divided by 6 is 2, so my scale factor is 2. Let's look at the next one. We have a real world model where Maggie is standing in front of a flagpole. Maggie is 5 feet tall, and the distance from Maggie to the mirror is 8 feet. The distance from the mirror to the flagpole is 24 feet. How tall is the flagpole? Now, this real world scenario is the same thing. Well, you can use this in the real world in this way where we use similar triangles. So I'm going to start with the height of my person, which is 5 feet. And the corresponding side is the height of my flagpole. And that is 8. Then we look for the other side that's given to us, it's 8. And it corresponds to this side here, which is 24. And again, we cross multiply and divide to find the value of 8. We're going to multiply these two, we get 8 times 8. Multiply these two, 5 times 24. 24 is 120. Then we divide by 8, and 8 is equal to 15, which means that the height of my flagpole is 15 feet. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. This one we need to prove that the two triangles are similar. This is number 4. And the way we prove that the two triangles are similar is that their sides need to be proportional, and then the angles need to be equal. So if you notice, we do have this angle equal. So our angles pass the test of similarity. Now we need to see if the sides are proportional. So 4 corresponds to 8. And then 3 corresponds to 6. And if we simplify both of them, they're both equal to 1/2. Therefore, the sides are proportional, so we have this side and this side proportional to each other with the angle in between equal to each other. So these two triangles are similar by side angle side. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is using the properties of my special right triangles, 45, 45, 90. If you recall, if this is a 45, 45, 90, if my base angles are congruent, that means these two sides are equal. Therefore, y is equal to 9. And if you remember from our rules, if our two sides are 9, then to get the hypotenuse, we simply get that side and multiply it by the square root of 2. So x is equal to 9 times the square root of 2. And this is, now we look at 30, 60, 90. This is number 7, this is number 8. We have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Therefore, this is 30 degrees. Across the 30-degree angle, that's going to be my value of x. And if you remember, the side across the 60-degree angle or opposite the 60-degree angle is square root of 3, the square root of 3 times bigger. So whatever my small side is, we're going to simply multiply it by the square root of 3. So W is 2 times the square root of 3. Then we go off to the hypotenuse. And again, if you remember, our hypotenuse is twice the size of my small side. So we get 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So y is equal to 4. So for the next one, we have, this is number 9. We're going to be using SOHCAHTOA. We're going to look at this angle measure. And in reference of this angle measure, this side is my hypotenuse. The side next to the angle that we have is my adjacent side. So the cosine of the angle, so that's the CA, is my adjacent side over my hypotenuse. And then the TOA is the tangent of the angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent side. So because we're given the hypotenuse and the adjacent side, the one that we want to use, the trig function we want to use is the cosine. So we're going to start adjacent side, which is 12, divided by our hypotenuse side, which is 15. And because we're looking for the angle, we use the inverse of cosine, 12 over 15. We put that in our calculator, and theta is equal to 36.87 degrees. So this angle right here is 36.87 degrees. Let's look at the next one. The next one, they're giving us the angle of 28. And in reference to that angle, your x is your hypotenuse, and your adjacent side is that 19, the side next to the angle. So they're giving us the same ones as before. They're giving us the adjacent side, and they're wanting us to find the hypotenuse side. So let's go ahead and set it up. We've got cosine. Now we can say that our angle measure is 28 degrees is equal to our adjacent side, 19, divided by our hypotenuse side, which is x. Now, if you remember, we're doing cross multiplication here, which is basically multiplying these two, is equal to multiplying these two. One times 19 is 19. And then we divide by the cosine of 28. And x is equal to 21.52, which means that the length of the hypotenuse is 21.52. Now, if you notice, if your denominator is x, all you have to do is switch your x and your cosine to get the equation to solve for x. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is number 11. Sum of interior angles of a regular 15-agon. So remember, we get n minus 2, n representing the number of sides. And then because they create triangles, we want to multiply it by 180 degrees. So my equation is 15 minus 2 times 180. 13 times 180 is 2,340 degrees. So that would be the sum of interior angles of a 15-gon. go to number 12. Each exterior angle, remember the sum of exterior angles of any polygon is equal to 360 degrees. So all we have to do here is get 360 divided by the number of sides, and we get 18, which means that this is each angle that is on the exterior of a regular polygon is 18 degrees. Let's go to number 13. Now, if you recall from parallelograms, if the angles are across from each other, they are equal. But when they're right next to each other, whether it be this way or this way, those angles are going to be supplementary. Which, backtrack here. We have 9x is equal to 171. We divide by 9, and x is equal to 19. We go back to the question. It's asking us for the measure of m, not the value of x. So we're going to get the expression that represents the measurement of m, which is 4x minus 9. Substitute my x value, which is 19, and 4 times 19 minus 9, and the measurement of angle m is equal to 67 degrees. Okay, let's go ahead and go to number 14 on this one. Let's go ahead and put that this is a rhombus. That was an accident. So if this is a rhombus, that means all sides are congruent. So if all sides are congruent, then we can set these two sides equal to each other. So we get 3x minus 9 equals x plus 12, and we simply solve for x. And subtract x from both sides, we get 2x minus 9 is equal to 12. Add 9 to both sides, 2x is equal to 21. Divide by 2, x is equal to 10.5. Go back to the question. It's asking us for the value of x, so that means that we are done. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last example. Anita is creating a beautiful rectangular garden in her backyard. She would like to build a wooden fence along the perimeter of the garden. The width is 10, the length is 14. How much wood fencing would she have to buy? So let's go ahead and draw a rectangular garden. The width is 10 feet. The length is 14 feet. To find the perimeter, all we have to do is add up all of the sides. This one, because it's directly across, is 10 feet. This one is 14 feet, and all we have to do is add them all up. So we get 14 times 2 is 28 plus 20, and that gives us a total of 48 feet. For the next one, we're looking for the area of the parallelogram. For area of a parallelogram, area is equal to simply base times height. My base is 12, and my height is 8. Remember, your height has to be perpendicular, which means that we have a 90-degree angle between the base and the height. So in this case, we have 12 times 8, and 12 times 8 is 96. So the area is 96 units squared. I believe that's inches. So let's just put inches.